Yo yo yo! Welcome back to the Boost Seats Sports Pod. Just two bros smarter than the average Joe. We got a little guest this week. Last week we mentioned of our half college basketball insider and our horrible podcast we did with no audio, but we're back. Everything should be working now. We got our half college basketball insider Miles Hall up here,
What's up, guys?
and then of course we got Griffin. I'm back in Vermont. Griffin, he's just
Yeah,
he's in a cave.
Owen's a little lazy bitch, so I don't get a I don't get a background today.
Well, as you guys can tell, we spruced it up a little bit here, so I was like worried about that too much. But we can jump in this week in sports. Not that many like big topics, but there are some not that many topics, but there are some big ones. We're gonna kick it out to L.A. To start it. Shohei Ohtani, interpreter fired for gambling. And the MLB opens an investigation to see if Ohtani had any collaboration with it. I don't know if you guys know, but the MLB has like a strict gambling rule that if you were to gamble on your own games, you're basically done for life. You're banned from Major League Baseball, unlike the NFL where you get like a 1 year suspension. You're done. So this could be huge.
Yeah, somebody can't get off the gambling sites. A very wise friend once told me that you're born with the gambling mindset, and either Otani or his interpreter was born with the gambling mindset.
But yeah. So the whole investigation is starting because it was reported that the money that was used for the gambling website in Japan was um, wired from Shohei's bank accounts. So that's why they won't be open to the investigation. Miles, you got any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I just want to see how loose because he's like the best player in the league. Like they'll lose a lot of old fans if they are as harsh on him because of Pete Rose. How he basically got shunned from the whole league.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Cause like it'd be like saying like LeBron was just banned today from playing in the NBA ever again, or like you have Victor in a couple years that's just averaging crazy numbers and then just gets completely kicked out of the NBA to never play the game again. And Shohei Ohtani has like one of the biggest deals in Major League Baseball history. The Dodgers would lose out on so much money that they would have to pay him in guaranteed. I'm assuming he'd get the guaranteed, right?
Yeah,
There might be some stipulations.
I'm sure there's probably some fine print that they'll get out of like some of the money, but obviously he's gonna get a good chunk out of it.
We can go with that. MLB opening day is this Thursday, March 28th. About to go 162 games. We'll check back in with baseball in October when it starts to get a little juicy, but
I
that's
could
all.
care less about that entire sport once the playoffs start.
Another league that's starting this week. Huge. UFL starts Saturday. They got 2 games Saturday, 2 games Sunday. I'm like actually looking forward to watching spring football. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, it's nothing like Easter if it's not with some UFL football.
Exactly. It'll probably get overshadowed first couple weeks by March Madness, which we'll get into. But yeah, I wanted to talk about this next one. You guys might not have saw this, but I saw a podcast clip from a Colorado like fan podcast that Dion went on, and it
Yeah,
was so funny because he sat there and talked about how Shador and Travis Hunter were only going to go to the places that he wanted them to go. But I don't. It's like kind of reminds me of LeVar Ball over here, dude. Because like I don't think he understands how it works. I know he's a Hall of Famer, but you can't just like say they're going somewhere or not.
Yeah,
Craven's like the Eli Manning shit of getting drafted to
Mm-hmm.
San Diego at the time and then being like, yeah, no, I want to go to New York. Um, I don't understand why people think that's like something that you're like entitled to.
No.
yeah.
Like you're getting a chance to play football for your like life, and this is your entire job, and like you should be blessed to even be in the league in its own,
Like
and
I
let alone trying to dictate where you're gonna go like you're a spoiled middle schooler.
yeah, it's like it's sports. Like why don't you go there and make a difference? Like just because the team's bad when you get drafted there doesn't mean 3 years down the line you don't help change the culture.
Yeah.
and make it a better place.
You're gonna get loved by the fans more if you change a culture than joining an already good one.
Yeah, but all the good ones, most of them have quarterbacks. I want to touch on the next couple are all NFL big things this week, but I wanted to touch on the JJ McCarthy thing. I know me and you talked about this before, but somehow, some way, from the middle of the college football season to now, JJ McCarthy has went from like an early third round pick to quote unquote the second best quarterback in the draft, which is insane to think about. Because I don't know about you, but any NFL quarterback could make a 60-yard throw at their pro day.
I feel like that's the criteria of being a quarterback in the NFL.
Exactly.
I'm just glad that the Cleveland Browns do not have a draft pick or in need of a quarterback, because I know their dumbass would take him high because it just get the whole Johnny Manziel shit written all over it, man. I'm just glad they don't have a pick.
Yeah, I assume GMs will come back to earth and he won't get drafted till late, like top 10 to the Vikings, as I'd imagine.
I really hope that the hype stays here and that some just poor ass franchise gets handed him very high overall, and then they have to watch.
Could you imagine JJ
as people
McCarthy
make
in
fun
New
of it
England? Could
immediately.
you imagine JJ McCarthy in New England? It would be so funny. I just feel like he wouldn't like match the New England way.
I mean,
Remember
yeah, I
last-
mean, well, Belichick's out.
Yeah, I
So.
know. But Mayo's supposed to be his predecessor, so.
Last time Michigan quarterback went to the Patriots.
Okay,
Worked out.
yeah, I guess that is right.
Yeah, don't bring that up.
We're gonna stay at
But
the NFL.
it was a very low draft pick, so that's
Yeah.
what
We're gonna
say
stay in
about
the NFL. This is one that, we understand why it's happening, but the NFL banned hip toss tackles this morning. NFL GMs voted on it. Yes, it is like one of the most injury-inducing tackles that we have in the league. It's also been banned by like the Rugby Association and stuff. So it's like something that's been banned across several sports. But like, it's going to be so hard to tackle from behind. And I think we're going to see so many 15-yard penalties this year.
definitely.
Yeah.
I could see a lot of games being decided by just 4th and goal situations, and they get tackled with a hip drop, and then they win the game because of that. I'm sure there'll be a playoff game that'll get decided like that. It just sucks.
Yeah.
Because the NFL is so bad at regulating their rules, and
Mhm.
I can only imagine how inconsistent they're gonna be with this.
Oh, it's going to be bad. And like, you have these guys that are in their early 30s, mid 30s, that have been playing football for 20 years. And then one
They're
off
gonna have to
season, they
relearn
have
how
to
to tackle.
completely learn how to tackle.
Yeah, relearn everything.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting trying to see like 170-pound cornerbacks try to tackle 250
Tight
pound.
ends.
Yeah.
I think tight ends are gonna get so much more usage just because there's no way to tackle them
Yeah.
anymore.
You have to tackle them at their
Literally.
chest or grab their feet and trip them down.
So it's like you can't go too low, but you can't go too high.
yeah.
And you can't tackle from behind. So
And you can't tackle in the middle if you're in behind. So it's like, what are you supposed to do?
I don't know, man. This is the shit we're getting into. Like,
This is crazy. And we're getting into some other shit because, it's time of the year. March Madness is dominating, so we win to like make this week in sports a little short. But me and Griffin brought up, and I have fully backed this. NFL wide receivers have the biggest ego of any position in all of sports, dude. It is actually insane. You got Brandon Ayuk doing what he's doing right now. Stephon Diggs has been doing it for years now. You've wide receivers that just
every
demand
Steelers
trade.
wide receiver in the last probably
It's like
they've done it one time.
like what is happening there? I don't understand. Like, I feel like a running back should be more entitled to be mad than a wide receiver does.
Yeah, they have such an issue with getting 4 targets in a game that they'll damn near go on Twitter and demand a trade, like right then and there, if they don't get at least 5 targets a game. It's like half the time I don't think these dudes even give a shit about if their team wins or not. They'll just go on Twitter and be like, I mean, I do have sympathy if you have a terrible quarterback. Like, I mean, I get it, but at the same time, like, brother, you're getting
Yeah.
the money, and you're doing your best. Like, no one's gonna blame you
I mean,
for.
like in the Brandon Ayuk situation, that dude had a monster year. He had an amazing year, and then it's like, oh,
Dude,
I didn't get the targets I wanted in the Super Bowl. Ah,
like, shut
get
up.
me out of here.
Like,
Like
shut up.
too. Like Brandon Ayuk's girlfriend was on Twitter the whole game, just tweeting.
Actually unbelievable. It's so
And
funny.
it's not gonna stop either. They're gonna keep whining until something happens. I don't know what, but I mean, it's crazy how much these people whine. I mean, you have NFL running backs breaking their kneecaps and being so just destroyed that they're in wheelchairs by 40, and they're not even complaining this much.
No,
It's like, it's
they just
insane.
want their money. They don't care if they get traded. They just want their money, which
Yeah.
is like reasonable, I guess. Which NFL running backs did get paid really good this offseason compared to like past off seasons. So I'll give them that one.
They deserve it. They
Yeah.
really deserve it.
We'll get off this week's sports. It's basketball time. Go over some of the biggest games of round of 64 and 32. We'll start with what would be the biggest one. Kentucky losing to Jack Gowick.
Go.
Golke.
No white
boy.
Golke.
No white boy.
Jack Golke in Oakland. Jack Golke went 10 for 20 from 3. Absolute splash. He was so wet from behind the arc, and it was a fun game to watch. I know you didn't like it, Griffin. I know you didn't like it, Griffin, because you picked Kentucky to win it all, but like that was a fun game to watch.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I was pissed off in the moment, but in retrospect, it was pretty cool. I'm, yeah, you know what? I'm tired of picking these teams like this. I'm next time just shut the hell up. Don't be cool and just go with UConn. Like, I don't know what the hell I was thinking. I was trying to be cool. I was trying to be niche, and I was too cute, and I got punched in the mouth for it.
Yeah,
And I respect it.
first day.
Of a 30-year-old white dude destroyed my entire hopes and dreams, and I'm okay with it. It's fine. Go white boy, go.
Yeah, I missed that first half, and then I watched the whole second half.
It was so fun to watch.
That's
Town
PM.
Townsend too. Their best player actually had a monster game too, and he had a monster game in the next round at NC State. I wanted to touch on one thing before we go to Auburn. Jay Wright made a very good point the other day on the broadcast, talking about how like this Kentucky-led team with their freshmen, with Reed Shepherd and Rod Dillingham, we've kind of came to the end where you can recruit well and win with a young team. Like Kentucky in the past, in the early 2010s, mid 2010s, when they were dominating with freshman team year after year after year, we're kind of over that. With NIL, you can retain veteran teams longer, and veteran teams are now proving themselves more against, more young and mature teams in the tournament.
Yeah, Chandler Bing is better than the entire.
Dude, that dude looked so much like him, dude. It was actually insane. Matthew Perry was literally lighting him up from behind the arc, dude.
Reincarnate.
I guess that's true. I guess he did die. I forgot about that.
Yeah. We'll kick it over to the next game. This is a game that Auburn falls to Yale. Much deserved. I was high on Auburn after winning an SEC championship. I felt like they could go and lose to UConn, but at least compete a little bit. But holy crap, they were horrible, dude. They were so bad in the second half of the second half. It was
Somebody say
so
the fourth quarter.
no, last 10 minutes of the second half. But they were so bad, dude. Like their shot selection was horrible. Their big man, Broom, oh my gosh, I hope he never steps foot on court again, dude. He is a baby, bro. Like he is a baby, dude.
That's just I didn't expect.
Like you
that
got these
word.
dudes solving like equations as they're shooting shots, and they're destroying you, dude.
How many jokes are we gonna have to hear about the whole Ivy League shit, dude.
That was the last one, but I did want to touch on. I'm sorry, Yale, for the disrespect. The Ivy League always wins a game every year in the NCAA tournament. Princeton did it last year, and I should have known Yale was gonna win.
Yeah, Yale said, "Hop that ass on the couch."
Yeah. Miles.
I think it's just funny. Like half the Yale's team have, Indeed accounts and LinkedIn accounts,
That's actually so
and they just be champ. It just
Yeah,
means
because
mean-
they're gonna be business owners in like 2 years.
They are, dude.
They already are.
Kick it over two teams that I think all three of us kind of picked to win their opening round game. 11 seeds, Oregon and NC State took down the higher 6 seed in their matchup, South Carolina and Texas Tech. Both kind of doing it with dominance. Oregon more so than NC State. NC State won by like 10. But I mean, kudos to them. And NC State beats Oakland and goes to the Sweet 16. So we have an 11 seed in the Sweet 16, and NC State, and they play a not so great Marquette team. So
It is true. Things are looking pretty good. That path is not that hard.
two more lower seeded teams that won. JMU and Grand Canyon beat St. Mary's and Wisconsin. I'm not gonna lie, I picked Wisconsin, right? But looking back on it, horrible pick. Wisconsin was 19-12. How did they get in over the Buckeyes?
I don't know.
Who?
Wisconsin bias.
Wisconsin.
I'm not on the committee, so
They
I
were
don't know.
19-12, and the Buckeyes are about to go and just win the NIT.
Was it because of like the different divisions inside the Big Ten
Well, there is no divisions in basketball.
basketball?
No.
quad or whatever. All that.
Yeah,
Yep.
it'd have to be with quad 1 wins and quad 1 loses and quad 2 and stuff. But I mean, they did beat Purdue in the Big Ten tournament, but like
We did too, but not in the tournament.
exactly.
You're not special, buddy.
There was no pressure on Purdue when we beat them. There was pressure on Purdue when Wisconsin beat them. So like, I feel like we beat a harder Purdue team.
Yeah.
Round off round of 64-32. Team I chose to go to the Final Four in several brackets. Duke right now looks great. Handled JMU. No. Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. They handled
No.
JMU, handled Vermont. Two good teams, and Jared McCain is playing lights out, dude.
Jared McCain University. What they call him.
So good, dude. That's actually hilarious. That's pretty good, dude.
Damn.
I saw Jared McCain posted on Instagram with the caption, "Fingernails painted, but my trigger finger itchy." And I was like, "That is fire, dude." It was awesome.
Is that a Caleb Williams diss with the whole?
No,
painted
it
nails shit? What
no,
the
because
hell?
he paints his nails. Jared McCain.
No.
Yeah. He's got like 2 million on TikTok. 2 million followers on TikTok. He's a TikTok phenom.
Whatever.
Whatever. We'll get back into basketball with our Sweet 16 preview here in a sec, but we'll jump over to COTA this weekend. NASCAR's first road course of the year, and the gamer himself, William Byron, pulls out his second win of the year. Yeah, I mean that was the race.
I hate this dude.
Who,
He's so
me?
bland.
Who,
bro.
me?
No, not you, Byron. Bro.
Oh yeah.
Like, name a more boring winner, bro. Like, dude just sits there and just gets that like baby face. Like, I don't. There's no enthusiasm from him at all.
He's less baby.
Although I will say he had a pretty badass
burnout. It was sick,
Yeah,
dude.
that was pretty badass. Yeah, I won't lie.
That was sick.
He's just doing his best Larson impression with that one.
He is actually the first repeat winner for the third year in a row since 1997, 1999, Jeff Gordon.
1997 through 1999.
Yeah.
Jeff Gordon.
Man, I figured the audience would pick up on that one. It was a pretty good race though. I didn't like sit down and watch this one. I knew it wasn't going to be something that really sparked my interest like Richmond next week. But looking at the top 5 on the leaderboard through what 6 races?
Yep.
Truex, Gibbs, Bell, Hamlin, and Larson are right now in the top 5, and that's Gibbs is one that's cool to me. I think Gibbs in
Yeah.
second right now is actually like really cool to see.
Yeah. Rookie of the year last year. Had a lot to prove. Although he hasn't won a race, like he's very consistent. Is able to stay in the
Which
top
I mean,
5.
that's all you need until the last race of championship weekend. So
I mean, that's true.
that's really it. You can go, sir.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're 1/6 of the way through the season already, which is weird to think about. But I mean, I still worried about Logano. He's still not great. I also think the Fords suck. Which I
They
didn't
looked
know at
hot
first.
the first couple the speedways to start the year, and then it kind of just
Yeah,
fell
they
off a
always
cliff.
do. Blaney's always gonna look good,
Yeah.
and honestly, him looking better than Logano is kind of embarrassing.
he's the defending champion. What are you talking about?
Well, I'm not saying that he's bad. I'm just like
Yeah.
I just didn't expect Logano to fall off a cliff like he did.
Yeah. But I mentioned Richmond next week. Should be a very enjoyable race, and we'll get there when we get there. But it's time to look at some Sweet 16 matchups. You guys at home, I think you guys are going to be very impressed with the setup here compared to last week's. But we'll start out with the top left side of the bracket. UConn versus SDU. We'll just go around, say our thoughts, choose who we're gonna choose, and then we'll just get through the bracket that way.
You want to go first?
Yeah, I guess we'll start. UConn, by far, heavy favorite, best team right now in the tournament.
Yeah.
Destroying Stinson and Northwestern. I mean, they just look unstoppable. I mean, they're out there just having fun playing their starters till 2 minutes left in the game. Just literally having fun like it's a pickup game. SDSU haven't beat a team. Well, let me think. They haven't beat a single-digit team yet. So that'll be interesting. I don't think that SDSU really even stands a chance. I mean, I know they have Lee. How you say it? Ledee. He's a great forward for him, but UConn wins this by like 15, 20 points. It's not even going to be close.
This actually is a rematch of last year's title game. Just figure that out, not like just looking at it. But UConn, most experienced team in the tournament, not like starter wise, but a whole team, and probably the most experienced coach left in the field. UConn should win easily unless SDSU handles the pace.
Yeah. So I think the only thing saving San Diego State would be a defensive performance unlike any other. I cannot remember who they played in the first round, but
They
they struggled. They
uh,
struggled.
Alabama, Birmingham, UAB.
Yeah.
Yes, UAB, a team that I thought they would easily beat, struggled. Who'd they play in the round of 32?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yale. Okay.
Yep.
Well. So they really haven't played a team like UConn.
No.
Just played it simple. And they kept those games close. So just doing the math here, yeah, UConn's definitely going to take care of business.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what the line is, because my guess is probably like 11.
Yeah, I bet
Yeah.
it's definitely in double digits. I wanted to talk about too, like the Mountain West was a conference that coming into the tournament was like, don't sleep on the Mountain West, don't sleep on the Mountain West. Like they're good, and then they kind of get in the conference, and other than Utah State and San Diego State, they just laid a dud. So it's like, is the Mountain West really that good? And the Big East has proven with their 3 teams still in the Sweet 16 that they're its best conference in college basketball.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we'll kick it over to the bottom part of that bracket. Iowa State, Illinois. This
Good
one,
one.
this one's going to be a great game. I could see it flipping either way. I mean, Iowa State rolled through South Dakota State, kept it close for a little bit there with Washington State, but pulled ahead at the end. Illinois just put on an absolute display of dominance against Duquesne. And then struggled a little bit in the first round, but I mean, I'm just gonna go off the Duquesne game. They dominated them. Big Ten champs versus Pac-12 champs. I mean, Big 12 champs. I don't know why I said that. Big 12 champs. I'm gonna go with the Illini. I've went with the Illini all week. I think Shannon is a dog, and he might go out there and drop 35 in this game. So I'm gonna go with the Fighting Illini.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go with the other Iowa State, and I think they'll be able, like, their defense is top 5 in the nation, and I think they'll be able to take care of Shannon. I mean, if they hold him under 10 free throws a game, he's only getting 15 points. But it's probably the most anticipated matchup of the Sweet 16.
I would agree with you. I think this and then Houston and Duke are probably going to be the best games we got going. This is this one is really hard to choose because I mean, obviously Illinois has handled whoever they played like well. They haven't really kept it close at the end of it. And same with Iowa State, but I think the factor that's going to put Iowa State above is purely how they handled teams like Houston and Kansas in their conferences is just the defense.
Mm-hmm.
They held Houston to what was it, 41 points in the conference, the championship.
Yeah.
Like that's If you're gonna play like that, you could beat anyone any given night. And I think if Illinois doesn't come up with a pretty good shooting performance, they're gonna get swallowed by that defense. So I'm gonna take Iowa State.
All right. We are gonna move on down to the West now, with a game that, from the looks of it, looks like it should be a good game. But if you look at it on paper, North Carolina has been absolutely amazing thus far this tournament, and they were really good to end the year too, but didn't play well in the conference championship. But they handled Tom Izzo's squad. Michigan State kept it close there for a bit, but North Carolina really separated themselves at the end. And this Alabama team can score. Like, they can score a lot of points. Doused Charleston, scored over 100 points. Played really good against Grand Canyon, but it was close until the end. The score doesn't show how well Grand Canyon played Alabama in that game. But I just think Alabama's defense is not going to be able. They're bad to begin with. I mean, they just let Grand Canyon score 62. But I don't think that they're going to be able to hold Baycott and Davis and Hawkins, pretty sure, to less than 70 points. And I think Alabama's defense is by far good enough to stop Alabama. And North Carolina wins this game in the second half easily.
I agree. I mean, Alabama almost gave up 90 points to Charleston, and then they needed a 13-3 run to end the game to beat Grand Canyon. And North Carolina is levels ahead of those teams, and they have a lot of experience on their roster.
Yep.
Yeah.
Does anyone want to take a guess on what the ESPN, just the game like picker, like who they're favoring? The matchup predictor. Does anyone want to guess?
I bet North Carolina is 55-45. I think a lot of people don't like Alabama compared to don't like North Carolina compared to Alabama.
North Carolina's 73%.
According to ESPN analytics, Alabama is favored.
Wow.
It's 52.2 to 47.8. I was just curious to see how you guys thought about that, but
wow.
I agree.
Good thing
with you both.
that's why we don't work for ESPN.
Yeah, I think North Carolina's gonna kick their ass. I don't think it's gonna be close.
I mean,
it's just that
straight
SEC
to the
ball.
point.
I don't trust it.
Yeah,
It's the SEC ball. I
that's
don't think it goes far.
that's another thing. Like me and you have talked about. I mean, you've obviously showed like your dislike for the SEC
I mean, I
throughout the
say
year,
that, and then I
but like
pick
I
freaking
know,
Kentucky to go all the way.
I
Like,
know,
what am I
and we
doing?
just talked about how the SEC teams just kept beating each other, so it kind of made the SEC look like that conference. But I mean, they've been so bad in this tournament that
Yeah, I think they're what? They were
I don't
Texas
know.
A&M and Alabama were the only
But
two to
the
win. And
ACC has been amazing with NC State, Duke, North Carolina, Clemson. So like the ACC is definitely the better conference here too, and North Carolina just makes so much more sense. They
yeah,
definitely deserve the 1 seed that a lot of people didn't think they deserved coming into the tournament.
yeah, for sure.
We'll kick it over to the bottom part of that. Arizona Clemson. Um, I'll start here. Clemson, sorry, didn't even have you coming out of the first round. Thought New Mexico was going to handle that one. And then I thought Baylor would handle that as well. But, I mean, you've surprised me. Your big man, the Hall dude, he's pretty good. You guys have some good guards, but I'm sorry, you're losing. Um, um, crap. What am I thinking?
Just pass
Okay.
it to Miles.
No. I got this. So, how do you say the last name of the big man, Miles?
For who?
What, for
The big
Arizona?
man for Arizona?
Let's just call him Big Man from
It
Arizona.
starts with a D, dude. It's DIO something something something.
Okay, so DIO guy from Arizona State, big guy. Go.
Okay. I think he is going to handle you guys. I think Arizona has better guard play. I think they have better forward play, and I think they all around have better experience coming into this tournament. This Arizona team is a team that yes lost early last year to Princeton, but has shown dominance over the last couple years. And I just don't think Clemson is ready for this stage of the tournament. I think them getting left out last year definitely was motivation to come into this tournament and shut a lot of people up and show them who they really are. But they don't really stand a chance, I don't think, here. So I'm going with the Wildcats.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go with the Wildcats too. They have the transfer from South Dakota State, San Diego State, last name Johnson, who played a national title last year, and then of course Caleb Love. So they have players that have been there and done it. But if Caleb Love is as inefficient as he's been, then
It could be a close game.
knock him off.
I was gonna say the same thing. I will also apologize to Clemson. I don't like you, but you did well. I'm never gonna listen to anyone on like TikTok or anything that was talking about how the New Mexico would win
Guards.
in the first round, and
How
they
their
were
guards were so good.
yeah they were pounding that agenda so hard, and I kind of bought into it, and I'm so sorry. I will never do that again. And then honestly kind of kicked Baylor's ass too.
Yeah.
That was pretty impressive. So it wouldn't surprise me if you came out and made some moves and kept it close. I just don't think that you have enough talent on your team to account for a number 2 seed. I mean, I know Baylor was 3, but I mean Arizona's a different beast.
Yeah.
I will think they will keep it close.
Yeah. And like you had mentioned it too, like you handled Baylor, and if it wasn't for Baylor bringing it back and tying the game after being down 14 with 4 minutes to play, then it would have been 2 dominant wins that people would be looking at. But you just can't handle Arizona.
The big
Yeah.
man, his name's Umar Bala.
I knew that.
Umar.
He's a dog though. He is a big dude.
Yeah.
Kick it over to the top right of the bracket. I'm sure this one will get a little bit more interesting with a 1 seed. But I watched both of these games, Duke versus James Madison. I watched the first half, but once Duke pulled away, got kind of stepped away from the TV a little bit.
They went outside.
No, I did homework, but Houston, I did watch the Houston game last night against Texas A&M. Um, Wade Taylor did not play his best game, and I think that could have impacted Houston's winning that game to begin with. But I learned a lot about this Houston team last night. Houston's a team that I really haven't watched all year. I didn't watch them play Longwood because there was better games on. I just know Houston for defense. But watching that game really gave me confidence in the Blue Devils to come out there and take down the first number 1 seed of the tournament. Houston is playing without, I think, 3 starters. Don't fact check me on that, but I'm pretty sure it's about 2 or 3 starters that they had just 2 months ago. And even last night, their 3 to seal the game was by a walk-on that got garbage minutes all year. So they're kind of depleting the bench right now. But I think if Duke plays the way they have, I saw something really interesting earlier that I think I can kind of can agree with a little bit. It was talking about how Duke this year coming into this tournament was definitely expected to lose this game and maybe lose a game before this, and that they wouldn't be able to win this game because they don't have the strength and grit to beat a team like Houston that plays super hard and strong. But I think Duke has kind of proven that, and I think Houston's the way they play has kind of hurt them a little bit because they're now fighting injuries, like I talked about. So I think Duke's ready for this, and I think Duke can win this, and I think Duke has a chance to go all the way. They're playing great right now, and Marquette and NC State at the bottom of the South bracket are not strong at all. So I think if Duke can win this, it would be a huge momentum propelling them into the Elite Eight and Final Four. Sorry, I yapped for a little bit, but it's fine.
I'm gonna go the other way. I'm gonna pick Houston. I think the guard play of, I think his name's Kamal Shed, and LJ Cry. Both experienced seniors. And I think Shed will be the difference in this game. I watched him the first 2 rounds, and he lifted the team on his back. He played all 50 minutes, no, 45 minutes last night. And I don't think Duke has been tested like Houston has. Texas A&M is better than both teams Duke has played.
Leading into that, I did not think Texas A&M was going to be as good as they were. Definitely gave Houston a run for their money there. Like, I was pretty confident that they were going to win it, but obviously they didn't. Someone on, I can't remember his name, but he was like, I think 5 for 25 or something like that.
Wade Taylor.
On
It's
Texas.
it's Texas A&M's best player. He dropped 30 the first time against Houston.
Yeah, so that was definitely missed. And if he had a better game, I think we would be talking about A&M here. It's hard because when Houston shows up, this shouldn't be close, but they haven't shown up. And with the injuries, it's not likely that they'll show up. But at the same time, do I trust Duke? So I don't really know. It's kind of a coin flip, but I am going to go with Houston.
Yeah, I just when I look at this, I look at the last 2 times that Houston has played a quality team in Iowa State and Texas A&M. They lost one by 28, and then the next one they won in overtime against a team that's best player played super poorly. So I guess I just kind of looking at this that Houston's not on the right trend right now, and that's just how I look at it, and that's why I go with
But
Blue Devils.
would you say that Houston's defense caused him to play poorly? Or
I mean, he started the game 0 for 7, so like he was getting shots, he just wasn't making them.
I do think they're going to have to figure out how to... How many points did Texas A&M score?
95?
Yeah, it was
Holy
86-86 was what sent it to overtime.
Okay, well, obviously that defense didn't show up.
Well, they had 4 players foul out.
Yeah.
And 4 players that fouled out?
Yeah. Houston did not get the benefit of the refs yesterday.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go Duke then.
Let's go. I'm a persuader. All right. We'll jump to the bottom side bracket. I think this is a matchup that
This is hard.
is probably one of the hardest to pick. to be honest. I guess I'll start out. Marquette, a team that was down at half against Western Kentucky, was down the first part of the second half against Western Kentucky. Got back, somehow won by 15, 20. Go on, beat a. Don't say it. I have to go through the bracket in my head. Beat a Colorado team in OT. Did that game go to OT? No,
No
nobody,
idea. Do you want me
nobody,
to
nobody.
say?
I mean,
I think so.
beat
I'll
a
check.
Colorado team, 10 seeded team. Still have not played a single digit team. And then same with NC State, a team that beat a Texas Tech team that was struggling, and then goes and beats an Oakland team in overtime. I
They did
mean,
not go to overtime.
they did not, but it was close. But this one, I do believe Marquette is super fraudulent, and I think Marquette has a lot on their shoulders to go win this game, and I think NC State is just riding the wave, winning 7 games in like 9 days or whatever. Well, no, it'd be more than that now, like 10 days. I'm gonna go with the Wolfpack, but that's not because I think they're better. I just think Marquette's going to fumble at some point if it's this round or if it's in the Elite Eight. And I really think it would be a cool story to see the Wolfpack win this. So I'm going to go with NC State.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with NC State also. I mean, we got to have a 10 seed or higher in the Elite Eight. It always happens, and they're the only team left to do it. I think they're gonna keep riding the wave and get their 8th straight victory.
Now, does Marquette have a big man like NC State's big man?
Dude, NC State's big man's awesome.
He's the one
The
of a
answer
kind.
is no. The answer is no, and that's why we have to ride the NC State wave. I would like to go Marquette, but I've went with the favorite, the higher seed every time. So I got it. I mean, I have to. It's my job to pursue an 11 seed into the Elite Eight.
Yeah, I think NC State just kind of has like the fan pick too right now, more so than a Marquette would, and I'm riding with it. Jump in last part of the bracket. Purdue Gonzaga.
Wow.
I want to say here, I'm not going to say I'm sorry to Purdue because I did have you at this point in the bracket, but I did not have you absolutely clobbering teams in the first 2 rounds of the tournament in the first weekend. They went to town against Grambling State, and then also put a pretty good
Destroyed the Utah
Utah State team 6 feet underground. Zach Edey has been dominant this tournament. A lot of times we talk about him getting a lot of fouls, and he does, but he was super strong with the ball this past weekend, and really put that Purdue team on top. And I think this might be the year, maybe not the year for the Natty, but I think this might be a year where we see Purdue in the Final Four. But this is a Gonzaga team that I'm going to harp on our half insider college basketball analyst Miles Hall, that I do agree with the fact that Gonzaga probably was not deserving of a 5 seed coming into the tournament because they were on a downward spiral coming into March, but have obviously picked that up and absolutely destroyed McNeese. Destroyed Kansas. And now find themselves in a game against Purdue. I just think that Purdue's guards, obviously Gonzaga has Nembhard, but I think Purdue's guards can hold their own, and Zach Edey down low is just dominant. And I think it kind of reminds Gonzaga of themselves a couple years ago with Chet Holmberg and Jalen Suggs. So I think Purdue takes this one.
Yeah. I think Gonzaga heard all the chatter around them, and they definitely used that as motivation in the first 2 rounds, as you could tell. Because those weren't just 5-point, 10-point victories. Those were send you home packing type of wins.
Yeah.
But I don't think this round it will be the same. They don't have anyone either tall enough or athletic enough to handle Zach Edey. So I think Purdue will go to the Elite Eight.
Yeah. So, yeah, like we said, Purdue. Um, doesn't really do well in this time of year, but has beaten the shit out of some teams, some poor teams that thought they had a chance in the March Madness, and Gonzaga absolutely shit on their teams too. And you remember when I said that I feel like Purdue's gonna get bailed out by refs? I think this is the game that we're gonna be talking about for a while in terms of ref ball. Because like Miles said, nobody on Gonzaga has a defender that can guard him.
Yeah.
And I think he's gonna get a lot of ref play because nobody can guard him. And screw Purdue. I hate you. Gonzaga, you're going to the Elite Eight.
Hey, that's fair. Gonzaga.
Even if they're gonna beat the refs and Purdue.
Gonzaga just this past weekend, I think, tied North Carolina and Duke for most consecutive Sweet 16 appearances in a row with 9, which is,
I mean, they beat the shit out of Kansas.
dude.
Like, it was bad.
Yeah, in the second half, they really turned up on that one. We're going to kick it to the last part of the bracket. A game that's also super interesting, and has actually been a little harder for me to pick than what I would have said a week ago. Tennessee, Creighton. Creighton, very good in their opening round, and then go and beat a very good Oregon team. Not a very good Oregon team, but a really hot Oregon team in the second round in overtime. And then we have Tennessee absolutely putting the burner on first round matchup for Tennessee, Miles.
What?
Who did
St.
Tennessee play?
St. Peter's.
St. Peter's, yes. Absolutely put the burner on St. Peter's, but really kind of scared me in the Texas game. A Texas team that struggled not to defend, but struggled to score against Colorado State. A Texas team that, when you watch that Colorado State game, had no one that could, in my eye, be that guy to go score. I know Max Asmus was that guy at Oral Roberts and kind of had to be that guy at some points throughout the year, but I don't know. That was concerning for me, but Tennessee squeaks through. This is a game that I have Tennessee making it to the championship game. I think Dalton Connect is one of the best players in the draft this year. I know he's going to fall a little bit being at the age he's at, but Creighton is a team that I'm going to ride with. I'm going with the Blue Jays.
Yeah, I'm going with the Blue Jays also. I'm probably going to the national title game. When you look at their starters in the Oregon game, one had 19, one had 20, one had 18, one had 21. When you have 4 guys you can go to, it's pretty hard for any defense to stop that, especially an SEC defense. But the Oregon team, they did give up 32 points to Oregon's best player, so still they handled Dalton Connect.
Yeah. I want to touch on one thing before Griffin gets it. And Kuznard, Oregon's best player, that ended up dropping 32 on Creighton. Definitely concerning a little bit, but I just wanted to look at Kuznard dropping 40 the game before too, against South Carolina and SEC defense. So I think they just met Kuznard at a time where he was on fire. So yeah, it can be concerning, but like Miles said, I just think the Blue Jays have better depth and more star power.
Yep. I'm also gonna go with Creighton. I just, like we've seen so far, SEC teams, they're just not like that.
Mm-hmm.
I know there is 2 of them in the Sweet 16, which is impressive, but I mean they put damn near their whole conference in, so I mean they should have gotten at least one person here. And the Big East, best conference, best depth. They've all played each other. I definitely think Creighton has the upper hand here. Tennessee, I will probably say, will give them a run for their money. It definitely will be close, but I do think Creighton will have the upper hand and make it to the Elite Eight.
Good Sweet 16 recap here, boys. Predictions. Be back with the Elite Eight next week, obviously, but it's time for the best part of the podcast. Booth battles time. Last week, horrible week. I mean, you would probably say this not points wise, but record wise for you as well. I went 5-3. I went 4-4. Griffin went 5-3. Did Tommy at 700 points to 600 points, and I'm slowly but surely throw me a raft here. I'm sinking. Griffin has 4,700 points. I got 41. I say every week that this is the week, and I'm really gonna make a push, but I'm just gonna see how it goes. Maybe if I don't have as much optimism, I'll pull some wins out. But we got Miles as our guest this week. Miles will be doing picks, and then for every guest we have on for the rest of this podcast's lifetime, we will be comparing the guest records together. But we'll start out with the NBA. I'm gonna take Clippers over Magic this week. Clippers, a team that just got Russ back today. When Harding, Lillard, Paul George, and Russ are all playing on the same wavelength, I think they're one of the best teams in the NBA. I mean, we saw them get up there and fight for that 1 seed before All-Star break, but kind of took a step back a little bit. The Magic, probably one of the biggest surprises of the year, other than the Thunder being as dominant as they are. But Paulo Banchero, Franz Wagner, huge respect to them, but Clippers take this one. And then I'm going with one it's a mediocre game. Griffin has the garbage game of the year, of the week.
The year. No,
of the year.
Definitely
I
of the year.
have a mediocre game. I'm taking Bulls over Nets. Nets are a team that lose to bad teams, lose to mediocre teams, but somehow they win against good teams like the Cavs and the Suns as of recently. But the Bulls are just consistent. Obviously, I think there might be a 9 or 10 seed right now, but Bulls take that one. Zach LaVine, not great, but DeMar DeRozan somehow carrying that team at the age he's at. I'll give it to him.
Okay, so just like the Dallas Cowboys, Owen keeps saying, "This is my week. This is my get back week." Where's that at? You gotta start actually doing it instead of just saying it. You know this by now.
I know.
But enjoy my back bumper, because it's not gonna get any better, especially with the week I'm about to have here. So I took the garbage game. I thought I would have a little bit of fun with it since I'm this far ahead. Pistons and Wizards have combined 24 wins on the year. And I went with the shit bowl, and I'm going to take the Pistons because I just like the Pistons, and I think the Wizards are annoying, and I don't like them.
Are Pistons getting their get back game for what Kuzma said months and months ago?
Months and months and months ago. I think that there's karma, and it's coming right for them. And then other game, Knicks over Raptors. Knicks are just a better team. I needed a game where I know I'm gonna win because who knows what's gonna happen in the garbage game of the year. Anything could happen in that one, so I just needed my get back. So I'm taking the Knicks over the Raptors.
Start off, I have Lakers over Grizzlies. And the Lakers probably start trying now, push for a 6, 7, or 8 seed to solidify themselves an extra chance in the play-in tournament if they lose. But also, LeBron's been playing pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
And if AD starts to pick it up, which
he has
pretty
been as of late.
Yeah, but you never know with him.
Yeah.
And then the second game, I have Cavs over 76ers. The 76ers are pushing for. They fell off a little bit after Embiid, right?
Yeah, they're sitting at a 6 seed.
And then, I just have the Cavs over 76ers.
The Lakers are coming off of a 3-game winning streak as well.
I wanted to touch on the thing with AD. You are right. He needs to play good, which he has been, but it's been so inconsistent. It's been Lakers win, KD drops 40 and 20 rebounds, but Lakers lose, no sign of KD. I mean AD, and then Lakers win, AD drops 36 and 12. It's just
Yeah.
it's been super inconsistent. But we'll jump over to NCAA basketball. No women's basketball this week because I mean the higher seeds have won all but 2 games. So I mean, yeah, Caitlin Clark. The women's tournament is so much more anticipated than the men's tournament. But wait until you get to the Final Four, then it'll start cooking. But Elite Eight. But I'm gonna go with Purdue over Gonzaga. Purdue, a team obviously we talked about, disrespected a little bit. I don't really have to go in depth on these ones. We kind of already went over that. And then I'm gonna go with my Duke over Houston. Just kind of riding the Jared McCain success right now. Filipowski just needs to get it going, and I think Duke can win that one pretty easy. Not easy,
Yeah,
but
so
win it.
same thing. We already went through these, and I already said what I wanted to say, but I'm gonna take UConn over San Diego State, and then I'm gonna take Iowa State over Illinois.
My first one, I have Creighton over Tennessee, which I already talked about. And then going to the NIT, we have Ohio State over Georgia. Ohio State's going to take care of the Bulldogs and put us into the Final Four at Hinkle Field and bring home a championship to Columbus.
Hey, I mean,
Right after the women's hockey team
wins a natty, you know.
wins an Addy too. They're on a generational run.
Second
Nobody's
time,
talking about
second
it.
time in 3 years.
Yeah, they're on a generational
Um,
run right now.
We're gonna throw in this. Usually we did NHL a lot through February and March. I mean February, but we're gonna throw in some UFL games. There's only 4 games a weekend, so we limited it to 1 pick per person. But I kind of just went with my favorite team. Last year I was on the DC Defenders snake train, you know, and I'm riding it again this year. DC Defenders over the Brahmas, destroying. I hope that you have a great year with the Brahmas, and I hope that you see a phone call from the higher ups in the NFL. But I'm going DC Defenders.
Yeah, so Owen just continuing to be a bandwagon. Is gonna go with the DC Defenders. Typical Owen move here.
How is that a bandwagon, dude? Like what?
Because they're good, and you know they're good.
I mean,
Dude? They're DC. What do you have any connection with DC, bro?
I picked them last year, dude.
All right.
There was no Ohio team.
I'm gonna take a team that's close to me. I'm gonna take the Michigan Panthers. I have no idea if they're good or not. They might be ass, but I'm used to rooting for ass teams. It's not my first rodeo. I'm gonna have them over the St. Louis Battlehawks.
AJ McCarron.
Not gonna lie, I don't know anything about any of these rosters whatsoever. So I went to DraftKings and looked at the odds for the season and picked the team with the best odds. But what I do like about the spring football is seeing like the NFL stories next year of people getting chances.
Yeah,
And I mean that's what it's all about.
yeah. So who you pick, Mouse?
Stallions over Renegades.
You're taking the defending USFL champ against the defending XFL champ. That would be a good game. That would be a good game. Gonna go over last section of booth battles. Try to get this at about an hour long of podcast. We're going NASCAR in Richmond. I'm going with Martin Truex Jr., the points leader right now on the season, and then I'm also going with Chase Elliott, a guy that.
I'm curious why.
So throughout this season, I have just noticed Chase Elliott putting himself in those top 10 situations. Like we talk a lot about top 5s, you know, and he might not be getting there, but I want points here, and he has gotten himself like 3 top 10s this year, and I'll take that.
One, Owen, one.
It's your turn.
Yeah. And that one was in Bristol when everyone's tires were shitting their pants. So have fun with that one, buddy. I'm going to have a good week, for sure. Kyle Larson and Denny Hamlin, short track kings right there. They're going to get it done. I don't even, unless they get wrecked or a mechanical issue happens, they should automatically get locked into the top 10 spot.
My first pick is Tyler Reddick. Don't know much about him, but I know he's a part of 23 XI Racing, and I think that's pretty cool. And he's not a bad driver. And then my second pick is Ross Chastain.
Smart man.
I only know him because of Griffin, and Griffin has good taste in racers. So
That is true. That is so true.
besides
Thank
Logano,
you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one.
No, Miles said Logano's his favorite. That was he said other
Yeah,
than
well,
Logano.
That's your own fault. That's your own fault.
All right, well, that's the end of the pod. I hope you guys enjoyed. Every Tuesday, 11:30, pod goes out, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.